What's up, chat? No screaming today. The screaming is only a special thing for special days. Only the truly dedicated viewers can get their hearing damaged. Sometimes you can get eardrum damage as a little treat. I have the window open and my mother is like right next to this room, so I don't want her to be like, you can't scream, the neighbors will think you're a psycho. We have to be on our best behavior so she doesn't ask me to start paying rent. Is it a special day because today isn't a scorcher? Yeah, that's one part. In that I'm not in constant pain because it's 98 degrees in my room, yes. When it's below 85 in my room, that's we get to celebrate by not dying from heat stroke. And actually get to focus on drawing a little bit instead of thinking about how much pain I'm in. When I'm listening to all this YouTube synthwave music, it makes me really want to live in a, I don't know, dystopian cyberpunk society or something. The funny thing is we already live in a dystopia. It's just not a cool enough dystopia. We have to make our dystopia cooler, guys. We already have the mega corporations. Now we just need giant holographic billboards and we're already there. Also, the Cybertruck is an incredibly sad excuse for our cybercar. Doesn't look like a cyber vehicle at all. Now the DeLorean, now that's a cyber car right there. Pay your mom 30%? No, I will not. It wouldn't be cost effective to create holographic tech just for advertisement. Look, I don't care if it's holographic or some other form. We just need to have giant fucking billboards with giant Asian themed, I don't know, like those cats. Or laughing gods like in Akira. We know what we have to do, guys. Also, we can't have VTubers. VTubers are a little too dystopian. It ruins the 80s aesthetic of what we're thinking about when we're thinking about the future. No Hatsune Miku billboards. No fucking Pekora. No kawaii, only sexy. Sexy 80s aesthetic only. What's up, guys? Actually, I paid my mother for some of the summer city tax. She's like, the summer tax is like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. How much are you willing to pay? And I was like, here's $600, Mom. That's what you get when my yearly income is probably going to be less than $30,000 this year. Because all I've been doing is You know, I haven't been doing the parts of drawing that actually makes me lots of money, which is lots of commissions. You know, I've only been focusing on drawing manga and getting better at manga, so I'm sort of in my study mode, which means my income is extremely low, which means I will not be helping you pay the summer tax. What? Dolly Parton's massive honkers while she wears a cowboy outfit hologram? I mean, I'm thinking more like Sharon Apple. I haven't seen Macros Plus in quite a while, but I feel like that was the right... Oh, fuck. Someone just paid the summer tax in stream. Everybody, thanks Ergro Goodies for all the gifted tier 1 subs. I appreciate the support. That's a new record. I didn't know that was how hype trains work. It's not really a train, is it? If you just like, if one person just dumps all the money, and then it's like, you reached hype train level 3, let's go! Funds, thank you. I'm surviving because my mother doesn't ask me to pay rent. I appreciate the support. Now, whoever's watching me doesn't have to... Do you guys get ads? I don't actually even understand how Twitch ad shit works, but I will say that I have not been able to escape seeing ads on Twitch, even though I've tried changing my browser and stuff. I tried installing Brave and uBlock just for Twitch, because I was told that Brave plus uBlock, you could avoid ads that way, but it worked for like half a day, and then I started getting ads usually again, so I don't know what's going on with the Twitch ad scripts. I don't get ads, but Twitch ads are broken in my country anyways. Is that like a... Doesn't South Korea... Oh no, that's the opposite. South Korea doesn't not get ads. They don't get any content because they force the company to pay the provider fee or whatever. I can't remember how it works. I'm thinking of the wrong thing. Let's go. Alright, everybody else give me more subs so we can keep the hype train going. We have to adhere to Twitch's inherent designs in which they try and convince people to give more money to Mr. Bezos so he can have more billion-dollar weddings in Venice. When I see 1,000 or 10,000 is almost every 30 minutes of 1-minute ads. Interesting. Huh. I didn't know that they adjusted that shit for the number of viewers. Because a lot of the streamers I watch, I think, are relatively popular. So that might be part of it. Yeah, I think you might be right about that one. I haven't really been thinking about it in that terms. And promote the patriarchy. Everything promotes the patriarchy, guys. Also, the whole patriarchy thing is bullshit at this point, considering, I think patriarchy is the wrong word. Just because all the rich people are men doesn't really mean we have some sort of male hierarchical money structure, because 99.9% of men on this planet are poor too, just like the women. It's because region-wise my country is pretty obscure. Yeah, I don't understand how this shit works. I try and not run any ads, but they run the ads for you because, you know, they want to make money. Isn't Twitch still unprofitable no matter how many ads they run? Like, it doesn't even matter. If Twitch is unprofitable right now, then they're never gonna be fucking profitable because they already have, like, the streamer monopoly, and it's... YouTube is trying to fucking cut into that shit, so I can't imagine that, Stop, you had me at patriarchy. Thanks for the sub. I appreciate the support. That's right, we're all the patriarchy, guys. You're the patriarchy. I'm the patriarchy. I was reading the New York Times opinion section, which is not really the New York Times. It's New York Times adjacent content this morning. And somebody was doing analysis of how the Democrats lost male voters by like 30% between 2020 and 2024, and all the reasons why. And we all know the reasons why, you know, men stopped voting Democratic. We were all there. And in the comments section, there of course were angry women being like, "We've given so much to men up until now, and you get now you're angry that you don't have all the advantages." And they were talking about the patriarchy, and everyone was pointing out this is exactly why men aren't voting for the Democratic Party anymore. I was just like, yeah, well, the lack of self-awareness, you know. There isn't really any sort of patriarchal advantage for men in 2025. There's only the oligarchy, super rich advantage for rich people, and that's it. We've kind of eliminated whatever benefits men were supposed to be having previously. We can't be like, my wife, I think my wife was cheating on me, so I will have her immolated or something like that. Rusty Kang, thanks for the Prime sub. I appreciate the support. I didn't know I had all this. I guess this is a Twitch emote. I should be installing 7TV and stuff so that you guys can get your emotes, but I keep on forgetting. The hierarchy is just money. So back in the day, there was a patriarchy system, right? In that, like, there were benefits to being a man just, like, inherently by being a man. And, you know, feminism has successfully eroded those things, so now it's just being rich. As it should be, you know, we should all be serving Mr. Bezos. I really hope that Mr. Bezos is feeling comfortable. Thank you for allowing me to stream on your beautiful platform, Mr. Bezos. And allowing me the opportunity to use your shopping service Amazon to give you more money. Women were considered mentally disabled. I liked how we had a fashion where women were wearing corsets that were so tight they were constricting their airflow, and then when they would pass out, men would be like, "By God, woman, get the smelling salts. Her continence is failing. Such frail creatures these women are." And the woman would be like, "Tee hee, yes, you're right. I am in fact a frail creature, Mr. Darcy." We love you, Mr. Big Bezos. We all do. I wonder how much his wedding actually cost everyone. I wonder if they reported on it. That's actually getting me wondering now. Bezos wedding cost. $20 million and $50 million. So that's approximately Bezos' net worth. His Bezos' net worth is it's only 236 million, so that's 1/4 of his net worth. Oh wait, it's 236.8 billion. So yeah, multiply that by 1,000. So yeah, I think he might be okay, guys. Okay, let me open the reward. Share. Choo choo. Congratulations. Why is that called choo choo? Oh god, this is pissing the fuck out of me. This stupid fucking cat. It's doing the am I cute anime finger shit. Holy shit, that's annoying. My anti-cuteness sensors are triggering me. To be fair, as rich people go, I'm kind of okay with Bezos being super rich compared to some other people, because he actually like built his company relatively from ground up, and it actually does provide a service that's pretty good, and it does offer some benefits in life. Like if there's some specific thing that you can't find in brick and mortar stores, it's going to be on Amazon and you can get it and it will be delivered to you pretty quickly. I mean, I know it's not asking much for a business to just be like a basic level of functionality, but so much of the billionaires in the modern era, you know, don't even provide that. They're just rich because money creates more money, you know? So it could be way worse than Bezos being a gorillionaire. If only it offered decent wages to his workers too. Now. Don't take away Mr. Bezos' slaves. We can't ask for everything. Next, you're gonna say that his workers need to be let out of their slave boxes, the wagey cans. I was thinking about this because for some fucking reason, YouTube was recommending me multiple times videos of the YouTube channel of Martin Shkreli. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Shkreli. If you don't remember him, he was a guy in America who was in the news for a very brief amount of time because he figured out the amazing quote-unquote life hack of money hacking, where he bought a small drug that isn't used by a lot of people. It was like some kind of like anti-parasite drug or some shit that is obviously super necessary for some people, but not like necessary for a lot of people. And then he raised the price from going $50 to like $700 or some shit like that. This was his big hack. It's just like, let's make something that was affordable extremely unaffordable, but you have to buy it at a like 5,000% up cost because you know, you're gonna die if you don't. That type of shit. And eventually he went to prison for, I forgot, some kind of financial fraud, but I don't think it was simply because he was an asshole. And now apparently he's back out and he has like 3 fucking YouTube channels. And fucking YouTube, of all websites, was just straight up recommending me this shit. And I was like, oh my fucking god. And I went and watched one of his streams for 5 seconds, and he was being a self-righteous, annoying little cunt bitch like you would expect him to. And of course I told YouTube to never recommend me this shit ever again, but I was just like, God, if only somebody had knifed him in prison. He was also the guy who bought the single album by Wu-Tang Clan that they made. They had like this concept of like, we're gonna just make one album, like one physical album, and then like we're gonna sell it to the highest bidder. So he bought that, and I believe it was seized when he went to jail or stuff. So I don't know what happened to the Wu-Tang Clan album, but yeah, seriously, fuck this guy. Ball fears no Twitch ban still after a year of streaming. I mean, I'm okay if Twitch bans me. The huge hype train and donations I just received is very nice, but ultimately on the scale of things, it's not a particularly profitable. I would just go to a different streaming platform, I guess. All recommended shorts of comp-sci students doing their discrete circuits assignments. Kind of adorable. I'm not okay with Twitch. I think I'd have to do something pretty bad for Twitch to discover me and then ban me. Like, you know, posting horsecock or something. Consistently posting horsecock over a long period of time. I was banned on 4chan, by the way. I believe I got perma-banned on A back in the day because there were waifu draw threads. So I drew an image of... No, it wasn't someone's waifu. It was just out of the blue. I drew an image of the female character something Medaka from Medaka Bokusu of Shonen Jumpu getting fucked by a horse, I believe, is what I drew. And they perma-banned me for trolling. And I was just like, wow, that's so mean. Why would you perma-ban me for posting such relevant content? And later I apologized to the mod and said I won't troll as hard anymore, and they reinstated me. But ultimately it didn't make any difference because I stopped posting on 4chan in general. There's not as much reason to post on 4chan anymore because it's, I feel like the culture has died off quite a bit. I think he had a contract about not sharing that album, but he played it in a stream. It turns out that the guy whose primary business idea is trying to force poor people to pay way too much for their previously cheap medication, it turns out that he also doesn't respect agreements with the Wu-Tang Clan either. 4chan had culture. It had culture, and the culture became more and more just the general culture of the internet. And now 4chan is pretty much undistinguishable from like Twitter or any other website, I would say. Twitter or Reddit. Again, unfortunately we let all these normies onto the internet, and we have lost a lot as a result. We should have never let the normies in. All I knew was 4chan was taking the piss out of iPhone users. Both 4chan and 2chan had a cool sort of insulated, our own secret treehouse kind of secret club kind of culture to it. And after a while, the internet became accessible to too many people, and a lot of the uniqueness of those locations have died off. Like, I don't know how the anime board on 4chan is right now, but I remember back when I was on it, there was absolutely no way in which you could get the source of any kind of anime, no matter, like, if like someone would post an image of an anime, right, and you were like, oh, that looks cool, what anime is this? On 4chan, on A, no one would ever tell you what the anime was. You would have to fucking find it yourself. And it's part of the actual site rules is that that's for recommendation threads only. You're not allowed to give anybody the source of anything. But it's that kind of culture that would basically serve as a way in which to keep people like normies out of the fucking website. We're just gonna make your life more difficult. What does VN stand for in this context? Visual novel. I believe he's referring to katawa shoujo, unless I'm thinking of something else. Unless there's another visual novel, I believe katawa shoujo is considered to be a 4chan creation. Although, you know, it's hard to say where this shit ends and where it begins. What is a 4chan creation, what isn't? But I believe that's what they're talking about. Yeah, katawa shoujo. Oh, I must date girls with horrifying disabilities. That's the only way to satisfy my penis, said many users on 4chan one day, and thus a project was born. I can only come when my girlfriend is covered in third-degree burn scars or has no arms. Please understando. Or is blind. I can't remember all the... I didn't actually play it. I don't fucking play visual novels, so... There was like, what, 5 girls? That's quite a lot if you think about it. Wasn't there a girl without legs, girl without arms, girl who is blind? I don't remember if there was a deaf girl. I don't think there was. Girl who has burn scars. I think that was it. Born on landmine. The only time in anime when a character loses a limb and doesn't get a ultimate power-up from it is when it's a hentai visual novel and it's cute to have the girl be disabled. In every other situation, if you lose your limb, you get like a cool cybernetic gun in the place of your arm. Or if you lose your eyes, it activates your God Sight special mode. The only situation in which being disabled, you're actually disabled, is if you're a cute girl. I was gonna say the only situation in which it actually serves as a debuff is when you're a cute girl, but it's not a debuff when you're a cute girl. It's also a buff in that situation as well. Hey Cornardo, thanks for the Prime sub. I appreciate the support. Hope you're having a nice day. Literally, I can't think of any situation in, like, anime or manga and stuff like that where it's like, yeah, that person is disabled now, so he can't participate in the fight anymore. He's just gonna have to live the rest of his life dealing to cope with his disability. Because that would be depressing. The only time when you see people coping with disability is if they're a cute girl, and if it's a cute girl coping with her disability, that's very heartwarming, and it activates the male neurons. One thing you won't see is ugly middle-aged guy coping with disability in anime. That is it's too depressing. Berserk, Full Metal Alchemist, Dororo. What's up, dog? Can you explain why some art had with dick cages? Are you talking about art that I was drawing? The art that I drew with dick cages on was because someone specifically paid me a lot of money to draw art with dick cages. That is how I pay my bills. Alright, this music kind of sucks. What do you guys want to listen to? That will not get the stream demonetized. Put on Ridge Racer Type 4. Fine. Ridge Racer OST. I didn't play much Ridge Racer back in the day. Thoughts on new Eris looking Mushoku new trailer? Mushoku Tensei Eris new. Is she big booby tall woman now finally? Are we getting adult version? So I really like Mushoku Tensei the novel. And I like Mushoku Tensei the novel so much that in fact I will not touch the anime, even though the anime is very well made. I watched a little bit of the anime, but it's one of those situations where I don't want it to be messing with my mental image of stuff. And I just like the novel way more, so I'm not going to watch the anime. I don't really care about the anime. The Japanese author is one of the few writers that comes from the isekai farm that can actually write proper Japanese, so I had a lot of enjoyment from it, the story. That's the reincarnated middle-aged man fucking a 15-year-old, right? Yes. As he should. Let me spoil everything that happens in Mushoku Tensei to you guys to reduce your enjoyment of the anime. Sexo happens, and yeah, I think that's about it. As opposed to having an island, I mean, there is the whole concept of consensus here. You know, I know this is hard for people to understand here because I bet nobody here has sex, but 15-year-olds have sex in the real world. Sometimes with other 15-year-olds, sometimes with ugly older men, but often with other 15-year-olds, which is what the main character is in that anime. He is a 15-year-old. And he never tells anybody that he's was reincarnated from a dirty old failure man. Ever. He holds it deep inside him because he's ashamed of his failure as a human being. New Chainsaw Man chapter has your favorite chest devil? Yeah, she's been around recently. I do like boobs. I'm not a huge fan of Chainsaw Man in general. I'm gonna say that. It's okay. It's not my favorite manga by a long shot. I don't think the author really has a good grasp of what he wants to do. And if he does have a grasp of what he wants to do, I don't think he's doing a good job executing it right now. I just have a general dislike for combat-based anime where the rules of engagement and the stakes are kind of unclear because the life and death of people is just vague, and it can be like, oh, they're dead, oh, they're not dead, oh, they're just gonna come back, etc., etc., which is the whole point of Chainsaw Man, is just endless. I think you should be very cautious in fucking around with different levels of mortality if you want to do proper combat. The reason why drawing a panel where someone's head is getting blown off is impactful is because people are like, oh shit, he straight up just killed that character, what the fuck. But if you're like, oh, they're just gonna regenerate their fucking head, it's like, you know, no longer matters as much. And that's like the entirety of Chainsaw Man at this point, so... Chainsaw Man is all over the place. Dandadan works much better with zaniness and keeping a coherent story. I mean, Dandadan is so all over the place from the beginning that it doesn't really matter whether it has a coherent story or not. And that's like the what it's supposed to be. Dandadan is supposed to be basically Sharknado or what's it? Sadako versus what's the other name? The other J-horror woman. That type of silliness. Freddy versus Jason type shit. So I give it way more leeway in like complaining about how nothing makes sense because, you know, it's not. It's just like supposed to be pulp entertainment. Whereas I feel like Chainsaw Man fans would be like, no, Chainsaw Man this is high art, you know? And I'm like, okay, if this is such great shit, then why can't I tell what the fuck's going on at any point? Don't be silly, this is stupid. Yeah, I saw the recent chapters. They were literally doing Sharknado shit. It was pretty obvious reference to Sharknado, obviously. What is your favorite anime? I've said this before, but it's Giant Robo, The Day the Earth Stood Still. An OVA from the 90s that was supposed to get a sequel, but it wasn't popular enough, but it looks fucking amazing. Pulp Fiction is not anime. Stop lying. If Pulp Fiction was anime, Butch's girlfriend wouldn't piss me off so much. She would be very kawaii if she was anime girl. But instead, I just want to punch her in the face every time she, you know, lies around on the motel bed being like, Will you get me blueberry waffles? I want to have a punch. A woman with a punch is so sexy. It's like, oh shit, shut the fuck up, you stupid fat bitch. Holy fuck, you had one job. Would have thought Keijo was your favorite. I don't like big asses. You're making the shocked face, but anybody who's actually watched Pulp Fiction knows exactly what I'm talking about. I have no sympathy for characters who are trying to be cute and then they can't do like the most basic shit. Like, sure, if she's supposed to be that way for plot reasons, fine, but I'm not ever gonna like her. Ball hates women. I hate everybody. Especially human beings like that are standing around me. Whenever I go to Planet Fitness and I don't go early enough, like early I mean like 3 a.m. If I go around like 5 a.m., all the morning crowd starts to come in by like 5:30, and it starts to get crowded, and by crowded I mean there's like 15 people in the gym, which for me is way too fucking crowded, because anytime anybody's even slightly in my vicinity, and by vicinity I mean like 10 meters around me, I'm like, holy shit, this fucking motherfucker, get away from me, stop crowding my space. I just don't like having other people around me. What do you mean you don't like big asses? I don't like big asses. MC Hammer has done irreparable damage to society by saying that we should all like big asses. We should have tight, shapely asses with the correct balance of fat and muscle. You must be hitting that autism spectrum hard. Yeah, I just try and hide it. Whenever I have to be out in public and there's other human beings around me, I'm just gnashing my teeth internally. The autism fight versus flight response, where just like you get stressed out with anybody around you and you either want to like attack them or run away, it's very real. Like I can feel my entire body being like, I'm in danger, I have to get away from all these human beings. Normies can never understand. You know how in Neon Genesis Evangelion, Ritsuko is like, have you heard about the hedgehog's dilemma? The hedgehog doesn't want to be alone because they're lonely, but if they try and approach somebody, their own spines hurt each other. I'm pretty sure hedgehogs' spines don't actually hurt other hedgehogs, by the way. So we all just have to you know, find the correct distance to be in a relationship with someone. Well, in my case, the correct distance to be in a relationship with someone is like nobody within 500 meters of me. Like, physically don't approach me. Don't even talk. We're not even getting to the emotional level. Don't even get near me. Emotionally, the right distance for me is talking to people casually online, and when I get tired of their company, I turn off the computer and then I can be alone again. I don't watch anime, nah. I don't like anime. Everybody here watches anime. Stop pretending like you're a cool guy. We all know you will fucking watch anime every day. You goddamn dweebs. Wherever I work, I'll ask to be allowed to wear headphones. Yeah. Working in an office sucked so bad. Man, people would just stand around. We had an open office plan, and I'm trying to translate. It's not even like a autism thing. I'm trying to translate. That was my job, translator. So I'm trying to replay these sentences, rolling them around in my head. Okay, this is too loud. Ridge Racer Type 4 is being too loud. So I can't fucking hear my own voice in my head when I have all these people fucking talking to each other in this open office plan. I can hear everything they're saying. I was just like, oh god, just fucking kill me. So I would go to the office like later at night and work like a weird hour so I wouldn't be surrounded by people, but eventually they started getting annoyed with that and like, no, you have to work the proper office hours even though it doesn't affect you at all, that type of shit. But thankfully COVID hit, so they didn't start forcing me to be in the office at the same time as everyone. Collaborative work, that stuff is bullshit. Most jobs don't require collaboration at all. In fact, most jobs having your coworkers around you are probably going to be a negative if you're doing any kind of like deep thinking work. But extroverts run everything, so they don't understand the concept of like not talking to people and just shutting distractions out so you can actually get shit done. This is too complex a concept for the fucking extrovert. Cubicles are just so dehumanizing. Don't you want to be able to hear and see one another? I mean, ultimately the reason why we have to have the open floor plan is so your boss can fucking spy on you at all times. They don't want you jacking off in your cubicle. Anyways, I have successfully escaped the office environment, and now I just have to... I am only accountable to myself now, so... Feels good, man. It's actually much simpler. Open offices, cubicles cost less. Yeah, that's probably part of it. The Japanese office space, they don't even give... It's not even an open office plan. It's just like... It's like a fucking cafeteria. You don't even have like your own spot. Like, you have to choose a location on the bench every day. But of course, Japanese society, especially Tokyo, is fucking hell if you have the autism. Just getting on the train every day, being smushed among all these people. Just like, oh, just fuck me. Fuck me in the ass. Fuck me in the ass harder, Japanese society. The truth is, autists were never welcome on this planet in this modern fucking work environment. We need to be out on the farm, laboring in the fields or something where there's nobody around us or some shit like that. I don't know. But I don't want to be a farmer either, so... I haven't seen the full-size cubicles ever. It's always the half cubicles where you can't jack off inconspicuously. Yeah, I think you have to fight the corporation by, instead of jacking off inconspicuously, you just, like, have open sex with your coworker. Just, like, gay sex in the middle of the floor. That will show them. The solution to every problem is having gay sex. I got to experience Japanese-style train a couple times during my internship because the trains were occasionally lacking half the wagon, so that was fun. The true Japanese-style train is reached only when you think the train is full, but then the train company person has to push you in, like, physically into the train car because it's so fucking full. So, Japanese population is going to be declining in the future, but whatever, that's fine. Japan can do with a smaller population, I think. Of course, it isn't going to make any difference because Tokyo is going to be just as crowded as usual. It's just going to be like off in the boondocks countryside, in which there's fewer people. Tokyo is just going to be still fucking crowded. It's going to be awful. I can't even jerk myself off with an auto blow in the cafeteria. Yeah. And they say that America is the country of freedom. How can I be truly free? I mean, I'm joking, but like I would always have to jack off before I go to the office because like you don't want to be getting a boner in your pants for no reason being in public spaces. Being in the public fucking sucks. I don't know how people do it. Life is just legitimately hard if you're on the tism spectrum. I don't know. Every time in which I'm not like locked inside my room alone, it's like a fucking struggle. America's the country of freedom if you got the green. Hey, if you got the green, you don't need to go to the office. I wonder what percentage of billionaires like have a quote-unquote personal assistant that like sexually services them. Like it's the era of Me Too and stuff, but I feel like the super ultra wealthy super elite has probably escaped the whole like, because you can't fucking cancel this just random, you know, financial billionaire or something just because they were receiving blowjobs from their secretary or whatever. I'm pretty sure these guys get to behave just like they were behaving in the 1970s. Secretary blowjobs are a human right for billionaires. Yes. I feel like secretary blowjob would be nice, but what is even better is in my JAVs where your superior manager officer is a sexually frustrated mid-30s female who is like, you have failed your sales target this month, I'm going to have to punish you, and then her punishment is sucking your cock. I'm sure this is something that happens very often in reality, but my JAVs has told me that this is how this shit works. And you're like, no, Sumeragi-san, please. I promise I won't ever fail my sales target again. Please don't suck my cock. Many such cases. I was born to be a scheming advisor who's forced to sexually satisfy a strict and repressed princess behind curtains. You have to be the evil ikemen type if you want to do that. You better get your glasses ready. You have to be a cool type ikemen with glasses. Did you watch the Godzilla -1? I haven't watched most of the new Godzilla movies. I'm a fan of Godzilla, but I'm only really a fan of silly Godzilla. I like 90s Godzilla, which is pretty different from, you know, original Godzilla and Godzilla -1 and all these things where Godzilla is an allegory for the suffering of Japanese people and, you know, post-nuclear apocalypse Hiroshima and so on and so on. I like kaijus fighting. It's the Godzilla of my childhood. 90s Godzilla. Did Hystrixia dip from the internet? I don't know. She's still in her own Discord. But I don't talk to her because she doesn't talk to me, so... She seems to have dipped. I'm not sure. I'm not going to chase her if she does not want to internet socialize. I'm a 21-year-old NEET shaking my head. Well, you just need to say I'm training, and then that will disqualify you from being a NEET. It's like, oh, I'm training to do, and then just like put in some random shit that's not a real thing. That's no longer a good option. Most of the time, the Stacies keep a stable of low tier around them so they can alpha them around. I have zero ideas how you're supposed to date if you don't find your relationships in college and stuff. And I think everybody else feels the same way too, which is why all the birth rates are plunging. Every girl who's pretty, but not too pretty where you're worried about her cheating on you keeps a friend who's ugly around them. I was born for better. Yes, women do be like that. It is the natural female instinct to feel better about themselves by having not very cute girl around them. And then they're like, oh, you should date Trisha, she's so cute. And when a woman says a girl is cute, she is not in fact cute. She means less cute than me, but I am very cute, so that means this girl is also cute. And you will be very happy that you're getting my table scraps, is what they mean. Volunteer at church to get some anal. I will never go to a church under any circumstances. Not even the prospects of slutty Republican woman or whatever will get me to go to church. Church is going to ask for me to give them money, and I don't want to give them money. Also, I don't want to have a community with anyone. Just imagining the concept of getting caught in conversations is terrifying. Doesn't help that most ladies are looking 2-3 tiers above them and the real tier of men are beneath them. I don't know, I think there's plenty of ugly people having sex and having kids. But I don't want to be having sex and having kids with them, so that's the problem. Also, my expectations for physical beauty, thanks to the internet, have reached a point where they are completely unattainable by women at this point. If she doesn't look like a Pokemon, I can't ejaculate anymore, guys. Gardevoir girlfriend or bust. It'll be a surprise. If there's one thing I know from my hentai is that if I go to a church and confess my sins, then I can also use the confession booth as a glory hole. It would be so weird to go to an anime church and not be able to, like, stick your penis through a hole in the convention booth. Imagine if, like, you were looking for the hole and there was no hole and you're like, wait, how am I supposed to have sex with the sexy nun who has giant double D cup breasts? It doesn't make any sense. Don't go over to the grape bunnies. Is that what they're called nowadays? That feeling when no, there is no big-breasted drow elves in real life. I know, right? Actually, I was doing a thought experiment of what kind of perfect anime girl I would tolerate being around me. And my conclusion was, even if the perfect anime girl somehow appeared out of the screen, I would be annoyed to have someone around me. So I think I'm good at this point in life. It's not just like a physical beauty standards. I just don't want anybody bugging me in any way, format. It doesn't matter if you're a perfect 10 out of 10 female. The moment you ask me to go to a baby shower with you, I'm fucking dumping you. I will not go to your best friend's birthday ever. In fact, I won't celebrate your birthday or my birthday. You're already asking too much from me, woman. We don't do that shit around here. Put some Final Fantasy music on the back. This is some Nintendo stuff. Do you guys recognize the Nintendo? Honestly, I can't. A lot of people say that Nintendo music is good, but I don't know. I don't think it's that good. I think it's decent, but not amazing. I think people give Nintendo way too much credit for shit. They're like, oh, Nintendo, it's so amazing. The music's amazing. The gameplay's amazing. It's like, is it though? Is it? Is it? Are we sure about that? Are we sure that Nintendo is that good? I don't know. How many of you guys actually play Nintendo games? Ball couldn't handle the Ridge Racer. He's too pussy. It's good music for, you know, driving to, but I'm not trying to drive here. Okay? I'm trying to draw. I'm drawing. I'm drawing. The last Nintendo console I played was a Wii. I was watching a Skyward Sword speedrun video while drawing today, and man, the Wii graphics look so bad. They legitimately look so muddy. They look like fucking Nintendo 64 graphics. Like, Nintendo 64 graphics in 2025 actually look better than some Wii graphics. I don't know how that happened, but it really do be that bad. It really needs emu upscaling. As long as you're playing on a CRT TV, they all look fine. That's the thing. I had to buy a CRT TV because my CRT TV was gone because I wanted to replay my PlayStation 1 Final Fantasy games from my childhood. I was like, I fucking need a CRT for this shit because it looks too bad. And when I bought the CRT, I was right. It looks just fine on a CRT. It looks great. They were just designed for CRT, and you can't go away from the CRT. That's all. CRT blurs and blends all that shit. When they made the graphics, it was meant to be played on a CRT, and it looks really good on a CRT. And when you try and upscale that shit and play it on your 4K monitor, it looks like shit. That's just the way it is. Please understando. Dithering patterns make actually nice shapes on CRTs. Exactly. If you try and play that on HD TV, it's gonna hurt your eyes like crazy. It's just like, oh god, it's so unpleasant to look at, you know? On CRT, it looks just fine. If there was a will, we would still be using CRTs. Like, imagine if the tech was never abandoned. I mean, you don't get to have a large screen, though, so... I mean, I'm not going to complain about HD TVs. They're fine. The problem isn't the TV or the monitor type we're using right now. The problem is the people who are designing the video games and shit and not willing to actually make good graphics. They're just copy-pasting Unreal Engine assets instead of being creative in how they present stuff. Also, I don't like OLED. Every time I've seen, like, whatever thing that's being promoted because it has an OLED for being... And they're like, oh, it's so amazing, the colors are so vibrant. I'm like, I don't like this. It might just be my autism speaking, but... For me, the colors are too intense, and it distracts me from the whole experience of playing the game in the first place. It's just like, my eyeballs are getting bombarded. I don't like it. I'm not gonna pay extra for that shit. I don't like intense lighting. I'm trying to focus on the information presented to me. I don't want my eyes burned off. Are there people who pronounce it OLED? How am I supposed to say it? OLED? How the fuck do you say it? God, every time I just talk on this stream, people are like, no, you can't say GIF. You have to say GIF. I'm like, no, I'll say GIF, bitch. Try and stop me. You can't. What are you gonna do about it, huh, bitch? I'll say GIF all I want. But my infinite contrast, I like having low contrast. I don't like high contrast content. Jeff Bezos. My boy. Every time you say GIF, you must draw Aubrey's sex. What do you think I'm drawing right now? Look at all the Aubrey's sex we're drawing. She's literally getting hugged. The sexiest of all the Aubreys. Her dumpy needs to be bigger. She's wearing a fucking yukata. You can't see body curves in a yukata, okay? We'll have the mandatory swimsuit episode soon. Isn't this the hot spring episode? No, this is the episode that takes forever to get to, where shit actually happens. If you were reading another rom-com manga, It would be the episode that would happen around episode 350. Where shit actually goes down with a childhood friend. Instead, it's happening in episode 4 because I can't fucking wait around for this shit to, you know, take forever. Grak thong. I'm thinking of giving a fundoshi. Traditional dwarf fundoshi wear. The Dwarven Loincloth episode. I just realized that if you're a gay guy who likes looking at muscular men's bodies in extremely revealing clothing, throughout your life you've always had like a huge pick of options that like back in the day they probably didn't even consider were like getting the gays really horny. Like Capcom isn't like, we'll have Zangief for the gays, you know? They're just like, we'll just have a big muscular guy in a Speedo. And the gays were like, yes, continue with this content. I approve. They used to wrestle naked in the gymnasium in ancient Greece. It's only normal. You don't want to give people a chance to grab your clothing. You gotta get oiled up. Zangief, Alex Sagat, like He-Man. Just an endless selection of shirtless bear daddies. The oil is essential to the sport, I promise. We need to worship Athena by covering our bodies in olive oil. I wonder what they thought of Hakana's oil wrestling shenanigans. Nobody really cared about Hakan, let's be honest. The memest of all meme characters. Of all the Evo moments of all time, the craziest one was when, what was it? Who was it? Was it Infiltration who pulled Hakan out during the fucking Evo finals? I can't remember. He was like a counter pick to I can't remember who, because he has all these weird lows. What match was that between who and who? I can't fucking remember now. I just remember them being like, oh shit, he's choosing Hakan! Hakan is a counter! I'm like, what the fuck? Also, I can't remember what year, but there was one year in BlazBlue Strive in which fucking Hakumen won. And Hakumen is supposed to be this weird-ass defensive character, and he was just like parrying literally every single thing. I can't remember what year that was. Everybody was just losing their fucking mind. I remember that one really hard. Hakumen, BB, Evo win. What year was that? Was that fucking 2011? Are we talking about sweaty fighting games? Yes, we are. Yeah, Evolution Championship Series 2011. I'm just like casually checking it. And it's like, yeah, Spark is the guy who won with Hakumen. And then, what do I fucking see? Tokido is just right here. In third. Tokido is fucking insane. I keep on forgetting that Tokido is just like good at everything. That's right, Infiltration swapped from Akuma to Hakan versus PR Rog, right, because Balrog, being a punching character, has very few lows, and then Hakan can kind of slide underneath your high attacks, because he's all oiled up and shit. That's what happened, yeah. PR Rog was kind of like doing pretty fucking good. And then Infiltration was like, okay, I have this character in my back pocket. I was like, oh shit. That's a thing that you can just do? Murderface gonna Murderface? Yeah, it do be like that. I mean, Daigo was like that as well, right? He also won Guilty Gear. What was it? Asuka. I can't remember which Guilty Gear he won. Also, the fucking prize pool is $200 for third place. Talk about, like, not making a living playing video games. If you get third place in the current field, like, how many... That's, like, what, $10,000? I don't know how much, but I guess it depends on the game. Not everything about the current state of the internet is bad, I guess. The fact that we can have professional fighting game players actually earning a living wage if they win enough is good. Sweaty fighting games are only good for best goon material characters in existence for straight and gay men. I fucking love sweaty fighting games, as long as I'm not the one who has to play it. I would hate to have to waste my life trying to get better at this video game and to just get my ass beaten all the time. But if other people are gonna get good at it for my entertainment and suffer for my entertainment, I'm perfectly fine watching it. Back in the day, it was truly for bragging rights. It's amazing how much money has flooded into the esports scene if you think about it. I guess the peak was fucking Activision Blizzard trying to convince people to pay however much it was, like $6 million to buy a... What was it? 20 million? 6 million? I can't remember how much it was to buy these fucking Overwatch teams as if they were real sports teams and stuff. And then watching the entire league just evaporate. Now that's some funny shit right there. Soul versus Jacko finals was hype. Wife fought back. I know nothing about Guilty Gear lore. All I know is that Jacko sticks her ass up in the air, and that's good enough for me. Her face is really pretty in this panel. I don't know how you always nail the faces. I go deep into my psyche to channel the waifu deep within me. I don't know. I also have to redraw everything like 5 times. That's part of the equation. Men too. Sometimes when I'm having difficulty drawing characters' faces and there's a dwarf panel, I start by drawing the dwarf first. Because I can always draw dwarfs easily. If I could just draw a dwarf manga, it would be so easy to draw. I really don't see the appeal of esports. Speedrunning and challenge runs as is way more interesting because of the technical intricacies. There's lots of technical intricacies in the esports as well. You just don't understand them because you don't play the specific game. Unless you're playing Tekken 8, in which case there are no technical intricacies. It's just mashing buttons. At least that's what I've been told by the current fan base of Tekken, and why they're all leaving horrible reviews for Tekken 8. CS is pretty easy to follow? I don't think so. I think if you showed a fighting game to a complete amateur, like your boomer parents and something, versus a CS match to your boomer parents, they'd have easier time following the fighting game because at least both characters are on the same screen and they can see the bar go up and down. You can't even tell what's happening in a CS match without following the map and then like all the different viewpoints of different people and then explaining like, so he dropped his op and the op is a very expensive weapon. And this is a big deal. This is hurting the economy. It's like, no, in fighting games, it's just like, look, these people are punching each other. You know, it's pretty easy to understand. Like, obviously they're not going to understand, like, the one-frame link or some shit like that, but it's way easier to at an entry level than understanding CS, I think. CS is just shoot gun. The average CS is just like, look, he's peeking around the corner. Oh my god, he shot the gun. He shot the gun, guys. He did it. But it's all like what, map positioning and shit, right? So for the layman, which includes me because I don't play fucking CS, I don't know what, you know, the strategic shit is of them going one route, going to A instead of B and all that stuff, right? Water. Alright, next page, let's go. On game level, it's speed chess decided by RPS mechanic. Yeah, it has RPS mechanic. There's like basically two different mechanics in fighting games. One is the RPS mechanic, the other is the sort of spacing mechanic. Maintaining space, which is a little different from RPS. The neutral. And then the third mechanic is not dropping your combos, i.e. the part where it's just your execution. So it's basically 3 mechanics, I would say, that makes up fighting games. I miss grinding out stuff. Me too. I wish I could go back, but I can't. This is the jungle, right? Right here. The Mandragora jungle. I did a lot of leveling there. 4 mechanics if you count not showering. I think that's more of a TCG player mechanic right there. Not even the stinkiest FGC member can even begin to compete with the most clean, well-showered TCG player. They're on a completely different level. Only Smash players can come close. For the Smash player, not showering is a strategy. For the Yu-Gi-Oh player, not showering is a lifestyle. The Smash player merely adopted the stinkiness. The Yu-Gi-Oh player was born in it. Yu-Gi-Oh enforces the order rule though? Why do they have an order rule to begin with? That's like saying that our country is better now that we've enforced the don't murder people rule or some shit like that. It's like, most places you don't need to have the odor rule in the first place because the human beings understand you're not supposed to smell bad. Competitive players can be DQ'd if they stink bad. Honestly, as someone who doesn't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh, just by looking up whatever's current meta and seeing an explanation of whatever current combo is in like the most powerful, that's all I need to know about why nobody fucking showers. It's like, oh yes, of course. Of course the fan base that plays this kind of a card game would never fucking shower. It explains everything. I do not like Magic Loli, thank you very much. Any opinions on horse girls? I should be angry that nobody's drawing porn of them. But then I remembered that there's a million other gacha that have copious amounts of porn involving the girls, and I stopped caring. There's gonna be much more now. Yeah, I truly don't care. Not really, because besides the AI, the only difference is now that it's being released in the West, and guess what? Western fans can't draw fan art because they fucking suck. Have you ever considered that? This isn't like in Japan where everybody can fucking draw. None of these new Western Steam players can actually draw anything. The Uma fanbase is surprisingly pure. It's just Japanese cooperation. Japanese is the stick that's sticking out gets knocked in kind of society. So they're very good at self-policing shit. And when people don't self-police their own communities in Japan, that shit gets shut down. I mean, it makes sense, right? Doujins and stuff is inherently illegal activity that the company is not sending their lawyers after you because they understand it's beneficial for their fan base to have fans produce stuff as well. But if you start poisoning the well by doing shit when the company is like, please don't do that, you're not just hurting your fan base, you're hurting every fan base. See, I know this is very difficult to understand from America, but Japan is still a society that understands like you have rights and responsibilities and stuff, and you have to fulfill your responsibilities. And part of a responsibility of making a living off of black market porn is to not like spit in the face of the IP holders that are, you know, not sending lawyers after you. Dojins, as long as they make us money in the long run, and then we hire the good artists when they want to go legit. Ultimately, you're not losing any money by having Dojin authors producing a shit ton of porn. All types of fan engagement of anything is always going to be good. Your content dies when the fans stop engaging with it. It's not when they dislike the content or they're producing porn of the content or whatever. It dies when people just don't care anymore. I.e., ask Disney Star Wars fan base. There was a period when the fans were Disney Star Wars fans were like, I'm so done with Disney. I used to like Star Wars, but now they're just indifferent. That's like the final stage of your fan base is just like, well, I guess it's not for me. I'm gonna check out. I have better things to do with my life. And that's when you know you're truly fucked. Except Disney probably doesn't know that because they're too fucking stupid to realize how badly they fucked up with Star Wars. Toho is still alive and pew-pewing. I mean, Toho is the ultimate opposite end of the spectrum, right? Where the author from day one is just like, do whatever the fuck you want. And it becomes a playground for everybody. Toho will probably outlive pretty much every other IP in terms of like Dojin and stuff, because it's self-sustaining. It doesn't need new content. It's not like Blue Archive or something where at some point, someday, the servers will get shut down. The Toho servers are never going to get shut down, not if everybody keeps it alive. It will just go on and on and on. What exactly is Toho even? I only ever saw the porn. Let me explain. See this girl? Now, let's give her a hat. Oh, wait. The hat isn't frilly enough. Here we go. Here's the fucking frills. We did it. This is your first Toho character. Perfect. Now let's give her some more frills. Let's say she's like a Miko or something. Let's give her some horns. And I don't know, we'll give her a broom. And more frills. And now we give her a name like Yotei Kurumi or some shit like that. And now we just wait for the 10 million Dojin authors to be like, oh, this character is so fire. She must be in a lesbian relationship with this other character who's wearing a lot of frills. I must draw Dojins of her. Is this your Toho OC? Are there Toho OCs? I've never actually seen them. I didn't know there was a Toho OC culture like this Sonic OC culture. And now you have all these people making Dojins, and there will be this unofficial canon about your character, about how she's stinky, or how she has big boobs, even though the artwork of her clearly doesn't have big boobs. I'm talking about you, Patchouli. And, question, profit. Now turn her into an O cup. Yes. Alright, see, now that because you guys have triggered my Toho-ism. And now people will make videos of it. I like how you can clearly tell who is who and what they're doing at every point. Van! Actually, that's not Van. That's, is that Billy in the shower? I can't remember. Music kind of fire, though. Look at this fucking literal child. Just discovering the Toho music mix. If you go onto like anime playlists, you'll end up encountering at least like 7 Toho songs in the first like top 100. Toho best playlist. He doesn't even know Chirino's math class. Baka baka! Baka baka! 432 hertz Toho music, deeply relaxing and healing. 5 years ago. I modified the music from 440 hertz to 432 hertz. I have no idea what they're talking about. Can you people tell the difference between different hertz music? Am I being memed on? I have no idea what they're talking about when they say that. I thought it was some obscure Vocaloid series. Understandable, honestly. Semi-immortal girls shooting each other in a fantastic setting. Also engaging in light Yuri content, perhaps. How much Yuri is there in Toho? I try and avoid the Yuri content and go only for the hardcore sex content. I personally enjoy the Toho doujins in which they get stuck in a wall. I forgot the author, but he's made like 20 of them. Just Toho girls getting stuck in the wall and getting fucked from behind. Is there even a single man in Toho? No. Why would you even ask such a horrible question? Of course there isn't. The only men that appear are the ones that appear in doujins and are ugly bastards that don't exist. How can there be sex with man if no men exist? We have to self-insert by producing our men that do not canonically exist. There's one named Rinosuke the shopkeeper. I think theoretically there are men in the Toho universe in Genso Kyo. We just never see them and they're not important. It's you, Otaku-kun, you are the fucking Toho, that's right. The Toho was inside you all along. Me, when I forced my way into Genso Kyo, from what I've read from my doujins, you'll just get like a golden ticket will show up at your house one day, and then you can take the magical train to Genso Kyo where there'll be free sex for everybody or something. I don't know. It's supposed to be a shooting game, a bullet hell shooting game. The least popular video game genre of all time. So it's easy to say that Toho would not be very popular if it didn't have cute girls, and if the author wasn't like, my IP is free use, everybody can do whatever the fuck they want with it. I too had only seen the characters of Toho and not any of the actual original gameplay until I reached like college in like 2010 or something we're talking about here. I went to Japanese college for 1 semester, and one of my friends on the swim team was playing Toho on the office computer or something, and I was like, oh, this is what it actually looks like. So many remixes and samples. It was at the right time in the right place. And the right time in the right place, I mean when Nico Nico Doga was at its peak. So there's a million remixes on Nico Nico Doga. All these amateur video editors getting their start by fucking around with Toho. I mean, that video I just showed you is a remake of a fan video. All happening on Nico Nico Doga, I assume. The Metroidvania fan games are pretty legit. Yes. I would be interested if I actually cared about Toho, which I do not. And I probably never will. I do like the porn, though. My favorite Toho character is the one with big titties. Usually you'd be like, do you know how little that narrows it down? But in the case of Toho, it narrows it down quite a bit, actually, because there's way more flatties than busty girls in Toho, even if we're going by the doujin scene. The maid is the best. Whenever a maid appears in like a novel, I try and imagine them as a different character, but it always ends up being the Toho maid in my brain, and I was like, fuck. I'm thinking about the Toho maid again. I don't even like the design. That's a nice background in that panel. I tried my hardest. I noticed that if you use the crayon, you can get all this pointillism shit going on. That's the crayon doing its job right there. See, you go crayon, you go super easy on the lines and it just gets pointy, and then you go like, oh, just go to pointillism, cut it out, and then when you zoom out, it looks kind of atmospheric. Blue Archive is flavor of the season. In a few years we get the next gacha franchise. I learned recently on 4chan that the Blue Archive makers were actually incentivizing production of doujins. So they were basically putting their fingers on the scales, which I didn't know that. I think that came out recently in terms of information. So that kind of changes my outlook on Blue Archive passing Toho on the number of doujins and getting the #1 spot. But, you know, that's kind of typical Korean shenanigans, if you ask me. They can't beat Toho fair and square. They have to resort to underhanded tactics. On a related note, I had a cursory look at new Comic Kit on eHentai and plenty of IMAS too. Well, IMAS has, like, it goes through different iterations of different Man, I still own a copy of Idol Master for my fucking Xbox 360, my friend. My god, that makes me sound like a fucking fossil. I think I gave up halfway through playing IMAS 2 because I'm so bad at any kind of like rhythm-based shit. Oh my god, I'm so bad. So anything music related where I have to like tap the screen rhythmically, I cannot fucking do it. So IMAS is not the right experience for me. The Xbox 360 was only a console generation ago, right? Right? Yes. The Xbox 360 was a very recent console, my friends. It hasn't aged a day, just like me. Idle Master is more idle raising. Yeah, but I've seen people play like maximum difficulty mode Idle Master phone games where they have to tap the fucking screen 8,000 times in 1 second. And I'm like, this ain't for me. I cannot do anything rhythm related. It is just a fucking lost cause, so. DDR but with anime girls? Wow. I can't believe we have such a gotcha illiterate person in this chat. My impression of all of you people were you've wasted every single one of your paychecks your entire life on gotcha, which is why you don't have any money to give me. It's better that you don't know these things. Hey, what's up? Do I look like I have a job? Honestly, I don't know. I feel like half of the people either they're completely jobless or they're like operating heavy machinery while they watch the stream. They're just like, "Excuse me 1 second, BB-san. I need to make sure I don't run over this child with this tractor." This stream is for neats. I know for sure that Death Striker is watching the stream while she's in the office, so... In fact, I'm pretty sure I get way fewer viewers on the weekends than on the weekdays because I think there's a bunch of people who watch my shit in the office. There was legitimately a guy who was a long-haul truck driver and had the stream on in the background while he was like on the Ohio Turnpike. I haven't seen him in a while. I wonder what he's doing. Although I can't remember who he was, so he might still be around. I don't know. The neats go to work watching your streams and take the weekend off. Has Leafy Boy been around here recently? I think he has been around recently. I don't remember who's who. If you are neat, you are not employed. You're employed to be security personnel of your own house, is the joke. Someone has to protect the homestead. And who is better equipped to protect the home than the one who never leaves it? The unemployed neat hikikomori. Protect the rented apartment from the invader landlord. More like protect your room from your mother trying to kick you out. I'm going to start university in 2 months and have nothing to do till then. I have some news for you. I don't know what kind of university you're going to, but I've never had more spare time than I was at than I was at uni in my entire life. I guess it depends what kind of what your major is, but you generally have quite a bit of time in university. They say it's like time for you to like find yourself and stuff, but in reality it's more time for you to jack off. I was doing more masturbation in uni than any other time in my life. I remember one night when I was in university, in between the hours between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., I jacked off 3 times in a row because I was reading like a specific manga and I was just like, damn, I got nothing else to do, may as well jack off again. My penis was in extreme pain by the end. It was a bad decision. Time to play MMOs. Why do you think I'm playing like Final Fantasy 11 music? Because I started playing that shit in uni. I was like, you know, this could ruin my life, but I don't care. This is fucking awesome. I spent my entire university getting better at Call of Duty and Final Fantasy 11 and Oblivion and shit. Good times. I must have studied something, but I can't remember what. Post-nut clarity equals finding yourself. It do be like that. You find out that your penis can only handle ejaculating so many times in a certain time span, and you shouldn't go over that. It's a powerful lesson that we can all learn something from. Don't jack off too much. If you don't spend 1,000 plus hours in SolidWorks and MATLAB solving differential equations, it's not a real degree, MK. So I actually took a introduction to programming STEM course, and they were having me use MATLAB. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit? It turns out I'm not a very STEM-oriented person, I think. Methinks. There's a fuck ton of math that yield diminishing returns. Also, when I told some programmer guy who was the boyfriend of my Japanese translator professor that I was learning to program in MATLAB, it was just like, why don't you just learn C+? Is it C sharp? I guess it's C sharp. I was like, huh? He was an Asian guy, of course, so he's like, C sharp is the basis of all languages. It is the mother language. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, my man? Octave open source MATLAB? Huh. Well, I'm sure the university pays for the MATLAB, so it doesn't really have to be open source. He probably meant C. Look, I don't know what the fuck these people are talking about. Also, it was like 20 years ago. When did I graduate? I graduated in 2009. It wasn't 20 years ago, but it's pretty fucking close at this point. Oh god, I'm so fucking old. You'll be old too unless you successfully die. Alright, so what is the most worthless programming language to learn, guys? If I was like, I'm going to start learning Java today, would everyone be like, no, stop it. Stop wasting your time. Can you die unsuccessfully? Yes. Just ask all those people who attempted suicide and didn't die. It's a thing. It's a real issue. Java is pretty good. Java gives you boring, cushy corporate job. What is Java used for? Is it like web page development or something? Guys, I thought AI had already solved everything. I thought everybody can just like go to GitHub and then type shit into AI and it'll do everything for us. Are you telling me I still have to learn a proper programming language? That's not fair. Java, you can become a Minecraft modder. Oh no, the most cursed of all destinies. Not the Minecraft modding community. Android runs on JVM. I don't know what the M stands for. It feels so bloated. Alright, we can actually try this out. What should we ask Grok to program something for us? What's a good test equation for Grok to spit some shit out? Please program a simple... What would it be? A simple video game character collision program in Java. Let's see what it will say. AI is good at Python. Interesting. Huh. It actually did spit some shit out. Look at it go! Look at it go, guys! Grok is probably the most impressive text-based of the AI programs I've fiddled with, honestly. It fucking sucks at images, though. Game panel 1, new game panel, add game panel set focusable true. Game panel, request focus in window. Holy shit, that's a lot. Just looking at this is making my brain overheat. How can anybody do this shit? Is this what it feels like if you're an English speaker and then you're like, I'm like, read this Japanese text, look at this anime, and they're like, what is all this jumble of moon runes? Is this the feeling of a English speaker looking at Japanese? Or I feel like my brain is about to explode. Try running it LUL. Yeah. I kind of feel like you're going to be falling through the ground pretty quickly there, boys. It's like learning language plus math. I'm not good at learning languages, I'm not good at math. I'm only good at drawing big titty girls. We're very limited in our potential here, guys. I also don't like talking to people or going outside. Also, I'm not very good at translating either, despite being fluent in Japanese. And also, I'm not fluent in Japanese. So this whole manga making thing better turn out well, or else, you know, we might not be doing very well in the future. That's how I feel reading kanji, I don't know. I think, honestly, programming language is probably better off than reading kanji, because Japanese kanji actually doesn't really follow any kind of real concrete pattern. It's just memorizing shit. There isn't any, like, system to kanji. You think there's a system, but it doesn't apply after a while. There's constant exceptions. And not even, like, exceptions that prove the rule kind of shit. Just, like, exceptions all the time, ever. Every once in a while, you'll find a kanji where, like, the different parts of the kanji put together kind of make sense for what kind of an animal it is, for example, and you're like, oh shit, that makes total sense. But most of the time, it's just bullshit. It's kind of easy when you realize you just have to brute force memorize and not think. Yeah, but how do you brute force memorize shit? I'm not even good at it. I don't know. I don't think reading kanji is that important a skill. You only need to be able to read the basic ones that are used in like daily conversation and stuff, which isn't that many. Put the fries in the bag. I don't know. I do some like weird ass job, like working at a convenience store in the middle of the night or something that doesn't require me to have human interaction. I think I can do that. Also, I have like no empathy toward human beings, so maybe I could do the job where you pick up human body parts after they get run over by a train and stuff. I hear that pays well, but everybody who who does it, starts to go crazy after a while, so you can only do the job for a certain amount of time before you start to lose it. Is she grabbing his butt? Yeah, she's copping a feel. Classic Aubrey move right there. She's also sticking her face in his armpit to get the smell. It would be inappropriate if a guy was doing it to her, but it's okay if you're a childhood friend doing it to your boy. Needs mating press correction. This is a shonen manga. No sex will be had. Double standard is okay when the girl does it. It really is, though. Unless you make it hot-blooded special technique. There's nothing cooler than being like, I guess this is my opportunity to finally use that. Good thing I prepared for this situation. I must use that. They're like, Nani? All according to plan. Woman steps on my balls, I give her 100 bucks. There was a recent Japanese internet thread that I saw where in the Japanese news there was some parent took a voice recorder and took it and set it up on the bag of her like preschool kid to see if like the kid was being abused, and the preschool teacher was all being like, "Oh, aren't you ashamed of yourself? You had a Weddy." And the news was covering this like the preschool teacher was being mean to the kid by humiliating them that he had a Weddy and stuff like that. And then everybody in the thread was like, "No, I have to pay so much money to get women to humiliate me when I piss my diaper, and this kid gets it for free. It's not fair." And I was like, yeah, that's what it means to grow up. You no longer get the free verbal abuse from your preschool teacher embarrassing you, and now you have to pay large sums of money for her to humiliate you for pissing your pants. I'm glad I don't have a dommy mommy fetish. It seems very expensive. It's Keikaku, not Kotaku, the video website. This song is really chilling me out. This is like the chill Toho playlist, apparently. I modified the music from 440 Hz to 432 Hz. Can someone explain to me how that's a thing? What is even the difference? It gets higher pitched? Huh. Is that it? Can you feel your hemorrhoids receding? I have a hemorrhoid... Well, not a hemorrhoid doctor. I have a primary care physician appointment this week, actually. I was lucky enough to get one. So then they might refer me to a hemorrhoid doctor. But my hemorrhoids haven't really been bothering me recently, so... Go figure, of course. When I finally start to get to see a doctor, the hemorrhoids aren't as much of an issue. Slowing down the frequency pitches it down, less squeaking noises. Yeah, if you're reducing the hertz, it should sound lower, not higher, right? Make it nice and chill. Yeah, I guess Toho music is like super fast all the time because it's supposed to be bullet hell. So they just slowed it down and everyone's like, oh, it's so chill now. How many of you guys have like 100 or 30 hertz monitors or whatever? I feel like that stuff is supreme meme-ness. All you PC gamers being like, oh thank God I have this 1005 million hertz monitor. Now I can finally run my games to their maximum potential. The human eye cannot see above 28 frames per second. I know because I'm a console player. And literally none of my games are above 60 frames per second, so... I played better when I got it, but now I'm washed. My eyes, like, I don't have good quick twitch reflexes, so I've never been able to feel any difference regarding this shit. Why just have a placebo? Yeah, placebos are like that, right? Placebos are kind of fascinating. The fact that we can just make ourselves believe shit and it actually has an effect. If I just believe in my waifu hard enough, I can manifest her with the power of the placebo. I believe my waifu is sucking my dick right now. If that were true, you would not be able to see 24 Hz ghosting. I'm kind of memeing, but I generally can ignore poor frame rates when I'm gaming. The only time it has been truly painful was Dragon's Dogma on PS3 playing Magic Knight. Anybody who's played Dragon's Dogma on PS3 will know what I'm talking about, but if you play Magic Knight, there's this move called Magic Cannon, I believe, and it produces so many particle effects, you can basically make the entire game look like a fucking PowerPoint slideshow. Dragons, Dogma, Magic, Cannon, frame rate. Let's see if there's any videos. No, nobody has uploaded anything where they absolutely destroy their PC. Damn. I was hoping that someone would upload like a PS3 version of it. It's definitely the lowest I've been able to get a frame rate to go on a console, because usually they, you know, correct for that shit. But Dragon's Dogma was really trying to push the envelope when it came to the graphical settings at the time. And then the other low frame rate experiences I've had has been just like playing Zelda. Like, Ocarina of Time has horrible frame rate. It's like, what, 20 frames per second? Sometimes worse. But again, they were trying to really push the system with the N64 and that one as well. Also, I was playing Bloodborne, replaying it recently, and I didn't think that frame rate bothered me, but then I tried playing Bloodborne, and this is on my PS5, so I guess the PS5 didn't help the frame rate at all, because it was legitimately making me, like, my eyes be like, this feels wrong, this feels like I'm starting to feel nauseous, what is wrong with the frames? Like, it's not like, you can't really see, like, any jerkiness if it's like 20 frames per second or something, but there's definitely, like, some weirdness to it. Like, something feels off. It almost feels, like, blurry. Did any of you guys see the Hobbit? What was it? Was it 60 frames per second Hobbit? I forgot what frame rate Peter Jackson was going for. But it was really weird because it made the screen seem, like, super clean and crisp. I didn't think that the frame rate would have that kind of effect, but it really did make the movie feel more fake. Because, like, you could see all the little imperfections with a better frame rate for some reason. And then it made it look like you were looking at, like, a movie set instead of, like, something that was there in, like, your mind's eye. It was a very weird experience. PS5, holy shit, that's embarrassing. I mean, I don't think they've optimized it. It's not like a remake. It's just like you can play it on the PS5, so I don't think they did anything to improve it. In Bloodborne, it's intended so you can feel as bad as the characters in the game, copium. Also, another complaint I have with Bloodborne, I know we all fucking love Bloodborne, but the whole blood vial system fucking sucks. You can have 20 healing items, but you run out of the healing items, and when you run out of the healing items, you have to go and farm them. It fucking sucks. It means if you get stuck on a boss and get your ass kicked and you run out of healing items, then you have to take time to go and fucking farm your healing item. Jesus Christ, Miyazaki, what a horrible idea. They could have at least made, kept the store price of the blood vials cheap, but they actually made the blood vials store price to scale with your levels. So when you get to the late endgame bosses, you really like, you can't just buy more vials, you actually have to go and fucking farm them. Like farming grass in Demon Souls, but that's the thing, with Demon Souls, the price of the grass at vendors remains consistent. So you can just like buy a shit ton of grass. This sounds like we're talking about weed right now, but you can just buy a shit ton of grass when you get to endgame, and it's not a big deal. Also, Demon Souls is easy as fuck. Like, I mean, who's actually gonna get stuck on a boss in Demon Souls? Meanwhile, in Bloodborne, I'm trying to defeat Orphan of Kos at the end, and it's just like, ah, shit, I ran out of blood vials again. Fuck. Now I have to go to the beginning stage, Central Yarnum, to fucking farm some. I remembered perfectly where I had to farm my blood vials on my second playthrough, even it was like 10 years after I first played it. It's like that Central Yarnum, and then you go and there's like the two big, fat, bald, ugly bastards with bricks, and those drop 2 blood vials each, and then you go up to the top of the bridge and there's 2 werewolves, and those drop 3 blood vials each. And if you go into like the building, the werewolves can't enter the building, so you can do like charge attacks and kill the werewolves and just get blood vials that way without taking any risk. And then there's another fat guy on the way to the bridge lantern. So that's a total of 6 plus 6. So 12 blood vials. And then you do like, 10 cycles of that. And now you have 120. And that will allow you to grind Orphan of Kos for a while. If anyone here actually played Dark Souls 2 that had a fuck ton of heals, gems. Yeah, it also has the normal Estus, right? It's funny because I have 0 complaints about the Neo games. And Neo games have a limit, or not a limit, but they have like an upper storage that you can achieve with your elixirs. So if you're playing well, you'll have a surplus of healing, and if you play poorly, the game gets harder. It just doesn't go past any minimum level, but it does punish you for healing too much. I beat Neo 1 and 2 with a healing build. There's the Tokugawa armor set in Neo, where if you have a full Tokugawa set, it makes elixir, not using elixir chance, like 50%, which effectively doubles your healing. So I would have like 16 healing items when I would go into bosses, and I could play like absolute dog shit, and it wouldn't affect me because I would have so much healing I could just heal through it. It was pretty funny. Neo had some great builds that you can dick around with. I never really spent that much time on Neo to figure out, like, I know that the endgame Neo, you could just be in the living weapon super mode non-stop, just like you would never come out, and you could just like kill everything without ever coming out of living weapon and stuff. But I never grinded that hard. Yeah, the teacup spirits as well. Yeah, you combine all of that, you just get lots of healing. I'm looking forward to Neo 3 quite a bit, honestly. The demo felt very good. Team Ninja just knows what to do. I might stream Stranger in Paradise soon. When I'm feeling like having a gaming day. I really enjoyed how they just dropped the beta or the alpha test immediately after announcing it. They know how to get in my good graces. So I've just said this before, but what we need is we need From Software to design the art assets and the level design, and then have Team Ninja design the combat and like the general plot, and then From Software can do the lore. Some might say, but what are you talking about? Miyazaki has excellent plot, just read the items. But unlike that bullshit cope, Team Ninja actually has like a proper plot in their video games that is actually pretty satisfying. Like, I just finished Wolong, which is probably the worst of the Team Ninja Souls games. And even that had a decent plot, despite it being limited by the setting. I kept on wondering when... I don't know how to say the English name of the guy, but there's a super famous, probably the most famous character in the Three Kingdoms story. It's Zhuge Liang. I don't know how to fucking say it. Kolmei. He's like this super strategist. And I was like, when is he going to show up? And then at the end of the game, it turns out that the character that gave you the superpowers at the beginning of the game was actually the dragon that the enemy was riding around on, and that guy was also this Chinese strategist guy as well. So they really thought the plot out. They're like, how can we have a satisfying reveal at the end of the story? And obviously it's only satisfying to people who care about Romance of Three Kingdoms, and I don't really give a fuck. But I was just like, aha. They figured it out. They figured out how to... And even the title of the game is Wolong. It means, like, crouching dragon or some shit. So he's like a hidden dragon. It all makes sense. They actually thought that shit out. Meanwhile, From Software and Miyazaki is just like, oh, I don't know. You're the chosen undead for the millionth fucking time. The plot is so deep, you just have to read the fucking items. We'll never actually explain anything. And if anyone's like, what's going on? We're like, oh, you just have to figure it out yourself. Fans gotta learn the difference between story, moment-to-moment narrative experience, plot, broad stroke narrative synopsis, and lore, background narrative material. Yeah. I think the whole, like, dabbing on Miyazaki for the Elden Ring fight where the guy is just like, oh, Zanzibar, forgive me, is completely deserved. People just are giving him way too much leeway. You're just supposed to imagine what's going on. And they're like, no, no, no. We don't have to clarify anything. From Software fanboys are crazy saying Miyazaki has great writing. That's cope. Also, one thing I don't like about it is that how it's the same for every single fucking game. Like, the tone of every story is the same, you know? Like, you compare that to the Team Ninja games. Like, Neo, even between Neo 1 and Neo 2 has a different tone. And obviously that's way different for Rise of the Ronin and Stranger in Paradise and Wolong. I mean, I guess Wolong is pretty similar to the Neo games, but you know what I mean. Neo 2's story is cinema, it really is. Especially if you actually understand Japanese history. They really nailed that one. There was just a lot of moments in Neo 2 where they're like, oh, that's where they bring that thing in. That's so well thought out. Holy fucking cinema. Let's go. Hideyoshi isn't a particularly well-liked figure in Japanese history usually because, one, he's considered to be ugly. Two, after he won, he did all this like bad dictatorship. And ultimately he's a loser because he wasn't able to pass on his victory to his descendants. So those combined make him seem like not the most sympathetic figure. But Neo 2 really kind of figured out how to properly, take all these story elements and make it into a satisfying ending. Especially when you had to consider, like, they're like, how are we going to have an original character? In fact, I would say that Neo 2 is one of the best versions of a speechless character, especially when all the other characters are speaking. Like, how many times have you had a character that doesn't say anything, where you're like, actually, that worked out perfectly well? Like, you have all the Persona games, but I would say the Persona games work out in spite of the character being speechless. Gordon Freeman, yeah. If you are the main character, it's fine to be speechless. The worst version of having a character be speechless is in Persona 2. You have this big titty One-chan character called Amano Maya, and the Persona 2 was sold in two parts: Persona 2 Innocent Sin and Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. And they switched the main character between Persona 2 Part 1 and Persona 2 Part 2. And the main character that was your big titty One-chan in the first part is now the main character in Part 2, and they took away her voice. So you get to play as this character you liked, I especially liked, in the first game, except they completely cut off her character. Her balls have been theoretically cut off. Not theoretically, what's the word? Metaphorically cut off. She has no testicles. It was really a poor decision. Like, because she can't be the self-insert character anyways, because she already existed as a character for people who played the first game. It's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Maya and Lisa are so hot. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, she has literal hearts on her boobs. That's Kaneko character design for you right there, boys. This is what I'm talking about. Kaneko's like, but what if we gave her heart shapes on her tits? She has two hearts on her boobs because she gets stabbed in the heart but lives to symbolize her having two lives, probably. I thought she got stabbed in the stomach. I can't remember. No, that's not why. I think you're giving them too much credit. I don't actually like character designs of Kaneko. I think he should only be designing demons. This shit is too weird. She does get stabbed, though. Good job spoiling it for the entire audience. Persona Innocent Sin Part 1. It ends with her getting stabbed with the Spear of Longinus. The spear that they used to stab Jesus Christ. And she bleeds out and dies. So then she becomes the main character in the second game because it's an alternate world. And the MC from the first game is now like the punished MC. He's like Punished Snake now. people make voice characters voiceless for no logical reason. You have to be prepared for the character to be kind of, I don't know, boring, honestly, if you're not going to give it anything to say. You have to be going all in on the self-insert, and you have to stay with the whole self-insert situation. I fucked this up. I should do this selection from layer, create selection, select, convert to selection layer. Okay, problem solved. Alright, then we erase this selection. Now we have a selection layer, and what are we gonna do? Take the selection layer, convert selection layer to selection. Okay, now we make a different layer. Okay, I'm figuring out how to use Clip Studio Paint, guys. Alright, now we're good. And what am I gonna do here? I want to have a manga gradient. I didn't like William at all, but he barely talks, so it's bearable. I don't know who William is in this case. Uediyama. Dragon Quest is fine, though. I'm okay with Dragon Quest characters always being voiceless. That's perfectly fine. Oh, that William, yes. I mean, William says all he needs to say by going around murdering everything and chasing after his spirit waifu and impregnating local ninja girl. What a giga chad. If all of us could be even half as much of a giga chad as William is, that ninja chick was hot. Annoying ass boss, though. I don't think I had much trouble with her as a boss. I can't remember who I had the most difficulty with as a boss. I was kind of shocked how easy it was for me to beat Wolong, because I don't have good reflexes, but I think it's because Wolong is like my, third or fourth Team Ninja Souls game at this point, so I'm just kind of getting really used to the parry timings that they have. So, Wolong is just a game in which, as long as you press circle button at the right timing, you're just, like, completely invincible. I'm not good at games, which is why I was surprised when I was able to beat it. Like, I almost never first try Souls bosses, ever. And in Wolong, I was first trying a lot of bosses, which is really rare for me. I almost always die at least like 3 or 4 times at best. And in the bad bosses, I'm talking about dying like 30 times, 40 times, so... And once again, it brings me to the conclusion that parry mechanics are too simple. We shouldn't just let characters parry everything. I feel like Sekiro has had a horrible effect on the industry as a whole. Some may say it's not Sekiro's fault, but we didn't have this much parrying as we do now until we had Sekiro. When we have freaking Doom having parry mechanics, you know that something has gone wrong. Like, come on, bro. Doom does not need a fucking parry. Are you fucking kidding me? It takes the concept of defense in a video game and just makes it into like a simple button timing. And it used to be more difficult because they would make the button timing super severe. So if you didn't go if you didn't hit the parry timing, you'd be like punished. But then all these games were like, oh, Sekiro made the parry timing easy and then just made it your primary form of defense. What a great idea. And now everything is just parry, parry, parry. It used to be like, if you wanted to parry, you were taking a huge risk, and if you fucked that up, you would just like get straight up smashed. Yeah, it's not that Sekiro is bad. It's that all the other companies blindly follow the lead of Miyazaki too often. And when they introduce a new combat mechanic in one of these Souls games, suddenly all the other companies are like, oh, we should do that too. Oh, this is a great idea. And as a result, you have all these watered down, weaker versions of what was originally a cool innovation to the genre. I mean, there's so many Souls games that have Souls combat and have the you lose experience if you die, but you can collect the experience on the ground and then you won't lose it. That mechanic, the defining feature of Demon Souls, what I think is the main way in which we define a Souls game. There are so many games that don't need that mechanic, that are just copying Dark Souls and being like, oh, you like that, right? It's like, yeah. Actually, your game would be better off if you didn't just blindly copy From Software there, my man. That was a bad choice. Like, the whole point of that mechanic is that it allows the video game designer to really like fuck with the player and like kill them with a trap that there's no way for them to know about, and then the character gets the satisfaction of being able to go back to the location and be like, now I know about your bullshit and you can't fool me a second time. And then there's satisfaction in that when you like, it's like you solved the puzzle because you died once. Or you fuck up again and then you lose your souls and you're like, no! God damn you, Miyazaki, no! Not my 5,000 souls! So it adds a level of risk and also a level of satisfaction. But it only works if the game is designed around that kind of like live and learn mechanics. So if it's just like a straight up action game that's just like boss fight after boss fight and the combat is the main focus, there really is no reason to have the extra part of like the Souls part. Because Wolong didn't even have the you have to pick up the soul. Maybe it did. I can't even fucking remember now that I think about it. And I just played the game. It seemed it was, anyways, it was not a serious part of the game. It's the repeated copying the issue. The difference with Neo and Lies of P is the slight differences in the Souls-like formula. I haven't played Lies of P yet. I was planning to play both Lies of P and Lords of Fallen remake of Lords of Fallen 1. That's also still called Lords of Fallen, like it's a Rocky movie or something. I was planning to play both of those after I finished all the Team Ninja games, but I haven't finished Stranger in Paradise, and I haven't started Rise of Ronin yet. And I definitely want to play those before I play Neo 3, because I feel like if I play Neo 3 before those, the gameplay will be too much better in Neo 3, and I'll be like, I can't play these older versions of this. Lords of Fallen is a bad example of the Souls formula 100%. I kind of like the art design for Lords of the Fallen, so I'm willing to give it a little bit of a pass, or at least a try if I'm not paying full price for it. There's a difference between a game that I paid $20 for and a game I paid $80 for, you know, so... I played the first Lords of the Fallen for free because it was just on PS Plus or something, and it was pretty obviously a pretty mediocre game. I don't know why they had to decide that they're gonna make a game again, but have it with the same fucking title. This isn't a difference between like Doom 1 and Doom 2016 or something. It's like, come on, you just released this game like 8 years ago, 5 years ago. Why the fuck are you renaming it the same thing? Are you stupid? Also, I'd just like to argue that for Souls games, the combat is probably the weakest part. Well, not the weakest. It's decent. It's serviceable. And people really need to stop copying the Souls combat in general. Souls combat is a simplified version of action combat that allows less skilled players to progress based on knowledge checks. At least it was that way originally in Demon Souls. By the time we get to Consort Radon, then we're in a different zone now, but back in the day that was the whole point of the Souls formula. So it's kind of incorrect for people to just like copy that shit nonstop. The formula has shown it's a money boon. Yeah. Also, making video games just hard enough for people to claim that they're good at video games if they beat it, when in fact Souls games are not that difficult, is the biggest boon of all. It gets all us quote unquote hardcore gamers. We get our dick hard because we completed a relatively easy game. And there's all sorts of ways to make the game way easier. But because we don't have the easy difficulty, even people who fucking summoned on every single boss and literally had somebody else beat the game for them still gets to claim that they beat the game in the same way. Which is, you know, the dumbest part, right? And then you still have journalists who are like, it needs an easy mode. It's like, the easy mode is right there, you stupid bitch. You just need to level up your character 100 times, and then you'll have so much hit points that nothing the boss will do anything more than, like, tickle damage, and then you can beat the game easily. But obviously that's too difficult for you. So, like, fake gamer Elon, come on, man. Elon is a whole nother level from gaming journalists. Gaming journalists at least have to, like, fucking touch the video game for 5 minutes. Elon literally didn't know how to navigate the map menu on Path of Exile 2. That's next level shit. The fact that he thought that he could stream him playing a video game in which he doesn't know some of the most basic core concepts of the gameplay and not have all the gamers notice that he was fucking faking him and claiming that he was like the #1 top runner of the game in the world is insane. It's insane. Like, how stupid does he think people are? The Nepo babies are really a different level. They truly only have people around them that just, like, justify every single decision they make, do they? It's like if you got into a fucking car and thought you could trick a NASCAR driver sitting in the seat next to you that you knew how to fucking drive while you're driving on the sidewalk and running over children. That's basically what it was doing there. He is probably used to everyone stoking his ego and rimming his ass. He must be. It's the only explanation. He really think that nobody would fucking notice. He's a fake programmer. Yeah, it's very depressing. But guys, Elon is a brilliant technical genius. He's the one who invented the rocket that will take us to Mars. How could you say such a thing? Pirate software. To be fair, there's lots of people who are saying they're making a video game that don't actually know how to, you know, code. Or all the Indian scammers that are like pretend that they're super hackers, but really they're just reading a script to try and get you to install the software where you get to take control of someone else's computer. Pirate Software claimed he is a 20-year coder. To be fair, you can still be a 20-year coder and just be a bad coder. He didn't say he was a good 20-year coder. You can be a 20-year artist and just draw, like, the same fucking stick figures your entire life and never get better. And you can still be a 20-year artist. I'm pretty sure Andy Warhol was a 20-year artist and he couldn't draw a single fucking thing, so... CWC. I love how we can just post the acronyms of that guy and everyone knows his name. What a god. BB is an actual artist, though? Not really. I use so many fucking digital tools. I'm not gonna say that using digital software makes you not an artist, but it's getting there. Besides, the mangaka is not an artist, they're an entertainer. By any means necessary. As long as people enjoy the end product, that's fine. Which is why I'm gonna AI prompt everything from going on forward. Can't call yourself an artist if you're not using your own body fluids and fingers to draw. If you don't paint your masterpiece by literally sticking paint inside your asshole and shooting it out of your asshole, then you're not a real artist. We all know that. If semen isn't your primary form of paint, can you truly call yourself an artist? I think not. You're all made from a semen painter. Your father was painting his masterpiece when he coomed. And the masterpiece was you, so he wasn't a very good painter, I guess. Man, I wonder who LeBron James' father is. It's one of the great unsolved mysteries of our time. Who had, like, the goat genetics in him? And why did Bronny not inherit LeBron's tall genetics. I guess it's probably the mother's fault. In contrast, Otani Shohei has successfully found a wife that is super tall, so... He's not diluting that goat seed any bit. Although I think he has a daughter, so... How tall is she? About the same height as him. And he's like, what, 6'4" or something? Otani... In fact, she looks exactly like him. And not in a sort of racist, all of the Asians look the same kind of way. See, they're basically standing next to each other. Look how similar they look. If you told me that these were just like brother and sister, I'd believe you. They have the same smile. They have the same nose shape. They even have like the same earlobes and stuff. It's actually bizarre how similar they look. And they're basically the same height. And eyebrows. Yeah, look how fucking similar they are. Otani's just like, I'm just gonna marry myself. It's the only way for me to be the true baseball goat. Just like self-sexo. Now, none of us will be, neither of us will be a virgin now that I have sex with myself. The most forbidden of all incest dojins. The self-cest. Apparently she is a, I don't think she was pro, but she was like a college national level basketball player or something, so... He has definitely guaranteed his superior genes will be properly passed down to a similarly athletic child. Is it considered gay or masturbating if you self-cest your clone? But what if your clone is adjusted to have XY chromosome or YY... No, it would be XX chromosome. What if they clone you, but your clone... they disable the Y chromosome in your clone, and then it will be a female. And then you can have sex with the female version of yourself. Then it won't be gay. That's still gay? Wrong. As long as it looks vaguely female, it's not gay. Some would say that as long as the anime girl is wearing a skirt, it's not gay. So, otoko no ko is not gay. Would it be gay if it was a Futa clone? Yeah, I'm pretty sure giant meaty cocks are gay. I know I might be saying something pretty controversial here, but if you see a sexy woman and the first thing you say is, wow, she'd be so much more sexier if she had a huge penis, then, yeah, I'm sorry, bro. I hate to tell you this, but you might be gay. You might be gay. I'm sorry. It's kind of gay. I can never figure out whether I want the white outline of the characters when I do these full black backgrounds or not. And I was checking out Hunter x Hunter because Togashi would do that a lot, the full black background for his characters, and see how he would do that. And he like changes it from scene to scene, so it's not like consistent. So I don't really know when I should be doing it and when I shouldn't. Makes it much more difficult. Sometimes it looks weird, sometimes it looks okay. You might end up hating your clone. So I hate other human beings, so if I had a clone, we'd both just hate other human beings and we wouldn't interact with each other. My clone would also be a virgin. Although, if there was a female version of me, she probably wouldn't have the autism spectrum because that's mostly a male trait. So then there would be a completely different person. All dicks are gay except yours. When I look at black porn, I don't suffer from not being able to self-insert in the black penis. I still see the black penis as quote-unquote my penis. It doesn't bother me. So it doesn't feel gay at all, or like I'm getting cucked. Meanwhile, when I look at like Shota hentai, and it's like the anime One-chan being like, oh, look at this little boy. I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to self-insert in this? This kid is like 3 years old. How the fuck do people jack off to this stuff? You need to have a crush on your first grade teacher or you won't get it. Yeah, but I've grown out of that period when I'm a child. There was definitely a point in my life when I could sympathize with children, when I could self-insert as a child because I was like still young. In fact, I remember a certain point in my life where I was like, wow, I think I've psychologically exited my child period now, in which I can no longer self-insert or sympathize with the needs of children, is how I thought about it. And it was like specifically around 16 or so. Like there was definitely, I could like consciously tell that I had crossed over from one period in my life where I could understand like how kids felt, and now I'm an adult and like a kid is complaining about shit and I'm like, holy shit, shut the fuck up, you stupid child. I'm not gonna buy you ice cream. You stupid little bitch, now shut up. And now I can no longer self-insert or understand the feelings of children, which is why I draw porn instead of shonen manga, I guess. You must hate Child's Day. Nobody celebrates Child's Day in Japan. There's no children left. I'm okay with kids. What I don't like are people who are like, I love children, as if they think they fucking deserve a medal for being like, oh, I love kids. Same thing for people who are like, I love my pets. It's like, wow, you're so fucking unique. You like dogs and cats, you stupid fucker. Shut the fuck up. You want a fucking pat on the back? The only people who don't like dogs and cats are literal, like, serial killers who are testing their craft by murdering the local neighborhood cat or some shit like that. Stop being like, oh, I love children. I love like pets so much. It's like, yeah, we all do, okay? For me, that's like a huge red flag. One Shota is best. No, it is not. You're wrong. Having a relationship with someone you're saying the same age as you is the best. Especially if you're a office worker and you're having a relationship with your 28-year-old manager, boss, female, OL. who has missed her opportunity to get married and now she's desperate and she's trying to get you drunk and take you to a love hotel, and you wake up and she's like, oh, whoops, looks like we had sex, tee hee. It's like, oh no. That's the ideal form of relationship, I would say. Shota and anime can get away with anything, including wearing short pants, the ultimate taboo in Japanese society. I don't give a fuck, so I wear shorts in Japan because it's 5,000 degrees in the summer. But they really are not cool with you wearing shorts if you're an adult. And to those people I say, fuck you. I will wear shorts in Japan. I don't give a fuck. If you want me to wear long pants in Japan, how about provide me with weather that is not 100 degrees with 80% humidity? How about that? Then we'll talk. What's wrong with shorts? Don't ask me. I have no idea, but this is a very real shit in Japan. The only children are allowed to wear shorts. I have no fucking idea why. If you're an adult man and you wear shorts, people treat you like a literal weirdo. It's the weirdest shit. And we're talking about this with weather that's like actual risk to your health level temperature. Like, this is like 100 degrees outside and people are still wearing long pants. It's fucking bullshit. What is your favorite Osana Najimi? Cloud, Tifa, Vice, Aika, and Psychonauts couple? It's a good question. I think one of the most famous Osana Najimi in Japanese society, Bianca from Dragon Quest, should be disqualified because you literally only spend like one day with her. You're just chilling a little bit with her and they're like, oh, that's your childhood friend. Don't you like her so much? It's like, bro, oh, I only talked with her like once. Bianca, Dragon Quest V hero is good. You're a hater. You go on Ghost Adventure with her? Yeah, it's no big deal. If you are Lara Croft, you can get away with shorts too. Women can wear shorts in Japan. They're just showing off their legs and stuff. Women can also wear skirts, which are way more comfortable than wearing long pants. What you can't get away with is wearing shorts if you're a man, a grown man. You will be shamed for that shit. But I will wear shorts and you can't stop me. I will be like, I'm Gaijin. I don't follow your stupid island country rules. We're wearing shorts and that's the end of it. That's the bottom line, bitch. Because Stone Cold Steve Austin said so. What about kilts? You can just be like, I'm cosplaying. I'm cosplaying as a Scottish man. Japan has weird rules in society, but if you take up a new role, like I'm a weird cosplayer, they're like, oh, he's just being a weird cosplayer. Alright, guys. I have to make meatloaf now. So, see you around. I will continue grinding. I will do my best. Good night.